Episode 117. It's time to wake up, Lila Cox. The man was tall and handsome. Just by standing there, he attracted all the attention. Against the light, he walked into the hall with an expressionless face. Dressing formally, he looked distant and cold. However, the moment Serena saw him, she felt something was blooming in her heart. Feeling sweet and bitter at the same time, she immediately ran towards him. Seeing her, Jake's eyes melted a little bit as he spread his arms for her. A passionate hug chased his coldness away. Serena threw her arms around him and said cheerfully, "You're back!"
"Yes, I am."
His voice was deep and mellow, like the music that came from a cello. Serena looked up at his face. Jake looked very tired. There were even shadows under his eyes. After spending just a few days in Russia, his face looked even more chiseled. He must have lost a lot of weight. Serena felt for him, touching his face with her fingers. "You must be tired." Jake held her hand and kissed it.
"Not so much after seeing you."
"Ay, ay, ay," Captain Robinson cried, looking serious.
"You young people should get a hold of yourselves."
As people heard that, they all chuckled.
"Nope, I cannot watch this."
Drake Howard looked envious and mad.
"Bro, it is inhumane to display your love in front of single people like us." "That's too much."
Jackson Robert felt jealous as well. Glancing at Mary Parker, he said,
"I wouldn't mind competing with them."
Mary flicked his hand away. "Get lost!" Mrs. Cox was infuriated, standing with her arms akimbo. Grabbing the microphone, she yelled, "Jake Robinson, you're back just in time. Let's talk about what you should do." Jake narrowed his eyes and walked closer, holding Serena's hand. Nola Robinson saw Mrs. Cox being fierce, pulled her son away and said, "You do need to talk to us. What has happened? Why is Lila Cox suddenly pregnant?" Nola's attitude was obvious, clearly indicating that she believed Lila. Captain Robinson's face darkened as he commanded, "Nola, step aside. Jake can handle it himself. But come back here now." Nola became silent, walking to Captain Robinson. "Brother Jake!" Lila saw Serena being intimate with Jake, and jealousy almost drove her crazy. However, she still pretended to be gentle and timid. Looking at Jake, she said in a low voice, Sorry. I shouldn't have kept the baby without informing you."
"Well?"
Jake looked at her coldly, with absolutely no warmth in his eyes.
"It's your baby, so you could keep it or get rid of it as you like."
Having guessed his attitude, Lila gritted her teeth, stood up straight and said, "It is also your baby. You are his father, aren't you?" Jake Robinson heard that and suddenly smiled. His smile was so bright that it caught everyone's attention. The Robinson family, the Cox family, and all the guests invited to the party and press conference were all confused by his reaction. However, his smile was completely mirthless. Slowly, Jake said, "It is time to talk." Jake's smile disappeared as he said slowly, "When I was 18 years old, at my birthday party, you pretended to be drunk and slept in my bed
trying to seduce me. I asked the maid to send you back home, without mentioning one word to the world.
It had been 8 years since that incident. Lila became pale, not understanding why Jake would suddenly bring it up.
When I was 20, you pretended to hurt your ankle, asking me to send you home. Using that, you claimed to be my girlfriend to the public, making my mother believe that we were a couple. I did not expose your lies, but only kept my distance from you. Last year, I went on a business trip to Australia. At a party, you asked your guy friend to provoke me, trying to make me fight with him for you. After you failed to do that, you sent someone to stop my car, waiting to get an answer out of me. This year, you drugged me on my wedding night, trying to make me sleep with you. After you failed, you framed my wife, wanting me to doubt her and distance myself from her. On the next day, you specifically came to our room to remind me. I did not pursue it.
The more she listened, the paler Lila became. It turned out that he knew everything. How did he find out? She had always been discreet.
Damn it! That is so shameless!
Mary yelled, and a lot of people agreed with her.
Mr. Robinson would not lie. In addition, this woman did not even deny it.
Isn't she a lady? Isn't she gentle and kind?
Well, you can never tell a book by its cover. It seems that everything is true.
Lila froze, her face the color of ashes. He shot a brief glance at her coldly and said,
Several months ago, you hired someone to instruct Coach Lewis to hurt my wife, leading to the abortion of my firstborn before we even knew its existence.
Lila almost collapsed, but Mrs. Cox quickly helped her stand straight. As if he did not notice her emotional breakdown, he continued,
3 months ago, I went on another business trip in Australia with you. You were drunk and tried to make me stay in your room. I was in a hurry to come back to the country, so I left Miranda Young to help you get sober. However, you chased her away and invited a stranger to your room.
As he said that, the crowd was in an uproar. 3 months ago, and Lila Cox's baby was also 3 months old, which meant...
Bullshit!
Lila was hysterical.
The person was you! It was you! I would not mistake anyone for you! Stop lying to me!
Jake curled his lips coldly.
I was on the flight coming back to the country at the time. So how can I possibly have a baby with you? No way!
Lila looked tortured, but her tone was firm.
It was you! Except for you, I would never be with anyone!
Lila pleaded in tears.
Brother Jake, could you ask them to go away first, and we can talk in private?
There was so much at stake, so Lila was terrified. Would Michael Cox, Lila's